Hello, this is Mahlena Ray Johnson for Nerdy Girls with Mahlena Ray Johnson. And today we are talking about Mahlena's Guide to Life. Yes, these rules apply. Oh, the rules, what are they? They are the rules they apply to networking. So rule number 1 is wear a condom. Rule number 2 is avoid the crazy. Rule number 3 is people are terrible, but you seem great. And rule number 4, no one cares about what you're doing. So who am I? Again, I'm Mahlena Ray Johnson, and I went to Loyola Marymount University for film school. I went to the University of Southern California for business school, where I got my MBA in marketing, entertainment, and entrepreneurship. And over the past 10 years, I have conducted hundreds of informational interviews and coffee chats. I have attended hundreds of networking events and conferences, and I have connected with thousands of people. So I'm immensely qualified to help you with your networking journey. And my 4th book, Love It a Luau, comes out today on Amazon Kindle. So go check that out as well. But first, listen to the video. All right. So what is Mahlena's Guide to Life? So I don't know when I started these rules in my head, but they have probably gone back to middle school, maybe high school. Definitely by college, I had rules in my head of, yeah, this is how you're supposed to live your life. I started with the two first rules. Number 1, wear a condom, and number 2, avoid the crazy. So I grew up in the 90s. I was born in the 80s, and HIV and AIDS came to the North American continent in the beginning of the 70s. So I grew up knowing about safe sex, and it's now called safer sex, safer sexual practices. And I'm still shocked that in 2018, there are people who are engaging in sexual activity with multiple partners and not wearing a condom. And I know that not all sexual activities involve a condom. That doesn't make sense. But for the clear ones where you can use it, please do. And how does this apply to networking specifically? So unless you're going to orgies, you're probably not going to be engaging with people that way the first time you meet them. But I do want you to stay safe. So especially for professional women, safety is something that is important. It's not always covered in networking events, especially, or networking skills or classes, because a lot of those are about men in business and how they've done business all the time. But safety is important to women. So the number 1 rule about staying safe when networking is use your gut, or trust your gut. Boop, boop, boop. If you feel like this isn't the event for you, or this isn't the group for you, or you're just feeling skeeved out by something, usually some weird guy, trust your gut. You don't have to be polite to everybody, and conduct yourself in a way that makes you feel safe. That doesn't necessarily mean just saying, I gotta get out of here, and screaming, because that may agitate some people and make things less safe for you. But if you don't feel safe in a situation, or you don't feel safe at an event, or a lot of these events are held in places that don't have the greatest parking, and you're like, oh yeah, I have to park over here and then walk over there. Think about the best way to do this, and if it is really that necessary for you to get to this event, or if you can find someone to help you out. So that is rule number 1, wear a condom. 2, avoid the crazy. So this falls into safety as well. It also covers some other things. So number 1, safety, so important online and offline. But 2, avoid the crazy means that you don't need to do everything that everyone else is doing. So there have been events that I have gone to where everyone is trying to get to the speaker at the end of the event. I suggest that if you do your research before an event, if you're going to an event, look up who's going to be there beforehand, see if you can talk to them beforehand, and that makes it a lot easier, because then they're just regular people. So this is at the end of a panel. Then at the end of the panel, when everybody has a question for them and everybody wants something from them. Also, to avoid the crazy, a good thing that works for me is to connect with the people you see on the panel online. So initially it's just like, oh my gosh, this is the most important person ever. But what I have done is introduce myself to the person at the event, and then followed up with them with an email or a tweet if you can't find their email, or a Facebook message or a LinkedIn message saying, hey, I'd love to connect with you. I love what you said at the panel. Would you be available to have a coffee chat with me or an informational interview with me? That really helps you get out of the fray of all the people around them. And a similar thing is if you're on Twitter, there are things called Twitter chats where people are like, tweet, 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 or Facebook comment on all these threads, and you can get lost in all those things. Sometimes it's easier to just go directly to the person and say, hey, I like what you're doing here specifically. I'd love to talk with you more about that specifically. Set yourself apart so that you have the space, especially as an awkward introvert, to do what you need to do in the way that you need to do it. You don't need to be with everybody doing everything that they're doing in person, online, whatever you think it is that everybody is doing. You don't need to do all of that, and you don't need to be around people who make you feel weird. I mean, people who are obviously a little off. You don't need to be around that. You need to do what you need to do in the way that works best for you. All right, 3, people are terrible, but you seem great. So this is a specific rule with interacting with other human beings. Now, people can be terrible. They can, especially at networking events. You go there feeling like, oh, we're all here to talk to each other. We're all here to meet someone new and be super nice. And no, not everybody feels that way. Some people are just rude. Some people won't respect you. Some people will see you and think, who are you? I don't know you, so I don't have to even acknowledge your presence. And that's not okay. But recognize that those people are terrible, and that has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them. I had to work through a lot of internalization of stuff that I had to process because people were treating me poorly and obviously not tons of people, but in individual instances, I had to deal with microaggressions from various peoples, It's crazy how many types of people are just not great. And I'm like, wow, but I'm a Black woman too. Shouldn't you be nice to me? All right. But that doesn't have to do with me and who I am. And if I wasn't doing anything wrong, I was just presenting myself, sometimes just sitting there. And I got a crazy come up to me and say stuff. And you're like, and it usually has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the other person. So remember, you are great. And you're making a big step to go out and network or to stay in a network. And sometimes people are nuts. But you are great, and you need to remember that you're great, and sometimes you might need to go to a safe space and start calling out those safe spaces so that you can go back to them when people in the world are terrible to you because they have their own insecurities and terrible hate issues. So remember, sometimes people are terrible. It's not about you. You're great. Sometimes people are just nuts. I don't think that you should start being terrible too. I think you should just recognize that it can be hard putting yourself out there, and not everybody's going to be nice, but it's okay. You will find nice people who will be your people. And 4, no one cares about what you're doing. So this is a reminder for us awkward introverts that get scared about going out and talking about ourselves or stating online, here's what I'm doing. So I'll give you a specific, for instance, I just published my 4th book, Love It a Luau, and it's a romance novel. It's about a refugee suffering from PTSD who is scared to fall in love with a single dad. Some of you watching this video have heard me say that tens of times by now, and some of you watching this video will be like, oh, you write books? And I always need to reconcile that because I am with me all the time. So I think I'm talking about my book all the time. Everyone's sick of hearing about my book. I just talked about it over here. I said something about it over here. I did a video. I did a post. I told such and such. Everyone's heard about it, right? No, not everybody is where you are all the time. Everybody is in their own little world, worrying about what they're doing, what's going on with them, and who's talking about them and who's saying what about them. And usually nobody's talking about anyone else. Everyone is usually in their own little heads thinking, what's such and such thinking about me? No one's thinking about you. So that's why you need to put yourself out there and go networking, offline or online. And when you talk about yourself, it's not about going into someone else's group or going onto someone else's page and just blathering about yourself all the time. It's about letting people know who you are and engaging in conversations with them and taking a genuine interest in other people so that you can share who you are too. And when you do that and show a genuine interest in building a relationship, it won't feel like self-promotion. It will feel like this person actually is interested in what I have to say. It is related to the topic. And if it's your own page, then just tell everybody about all your stuff all the time, because not everybody's looking at your page every day. So remember that not everybody is looking at you. Nobody cares what you're doing. And the people who do care are just excited to hear about you again and will say, yay! And the people who aren't interested will either mute you or go away or just scroll past. All right, so Mahlena's Guide to Life has 4 rules at the moment. It started out with 2. Yes, they apply to networking. And rule number 1 is wear a condom. Stay safe. Rule number 2 is avoid the crazy. Just do what you need to do. Don't worry about other people, and don't get caught up in other people's drama. 3, people are terrible, but you seem great. In the world of networking, there are some terrible people out there. There are terrible people out there in the world. Remember, what you are doing is not terrible, and you're doing what you do best, you. And 4, no one cares about what you're doing. So if you think you're self-promoting too much, you're not doing too much on your own page. In other people's groups, in other people's pages, other people's events, focus on building relationships with people and sharing who you are so that and taking an interest in the other person so that you're building a relationship and you don't feel like you're doing a lot of self-promoting. You are building your network with people who have actual relationships with you. So we've come to the end of the video, and I want you to leave a comment if you're on Facebook, or email me at fornerdygirls@gmail.com. That's fornerdygirls@gmail.com. And if you are ready to have a strategy session with me about networking and you want to sign up for your networking strategy session where we come up with a plan for how you can connect with more people, clients, colleagues, coworkers, and collaborators who you want to work with, then email me at fornerdygirls@gmail.com so we can set up your strategy session about networking. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.